Welcome to In Support of Families. This is Emmalou Penrod, and my guest today is Dr. Karen Olson. She is a multi-award-winning, Billboard-topping musician, international speaker, best-selling author, and a subliminal programming expert. Karen, welcome.
Thank you so much, Emmalou. I'm really excited to be able to share with you and your beautiful In Support of Families community. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, I had a chance to get to know Karen at an event we attended, and I know you have an amazing story. You've accomplished a lot, but tell us about your background. You have a degree in music. I know that's your doctorate. So tell us about your journey. What led you there?
Oh, thank you. I'd love to share about my background. I grew up in Minnesota, and there was lots of natural beauty and Scandinavian goodness. And I also had a lot of messages in my youth that told me that I was really supposed to take care of other people because they were more important, and that was my job, and a lot of negativity. And when I heard those messages, they kind of became a part of me, and I let them define me. So when I started playing the viola in middle school, this just became my greatest passion and my ticket out of my circumstances. And it just has taken me around the world because I discovered that I did have choices and that I could break through my blocks and the negativity and choose to do whatever I wanted. So it's been an exciting journey. And along the way, of course, there's been many things that happen along the way because overcoming roadblocks doesn't happen in an instant, even though each one does. But there's been a lot of challenges in my life and a lot of victories. And family has been a priority for me. So I'm really excited to share more with your community.
Well, I'm glad. Now tell us a little bit more about you're an author, right? Tell us about your book.
Oh, I'd love to tell you. My book is called Sound Path. And it's about using the power of sound and silence for health, harmony, and happiness. And in my book, I have these 7 steps that help you identify the things in your life that you struggle with and go to a deeper level with them. I think I could almost summarize it. For me, I believe there's always positive energy around us, and I believe there's a power greater than myself that helps me, which I call a higher power. And some people call it the serenity prayer, but it basically helps me to sort out what it is that I can change and what I can't change, to let go of people, places, and things that I can't change, which was actually quite big for me. And then having peace and serenity, because when we are able to get to that place in our mind where we're calm, we can have clarity to make better decisions. So that's a really summarized version about how I talk about vibrations and subconscious beliefs and tapping into that level where we can really access long-time changes.
So your Sounds of Healing, now that's the name of your company, correct?
Well, it's actually Elevation Pathways is my company name.
Okay. But the healing is through music.
Yes, so music is at the core of what I do, and it isn't that I teach each person to become a musician, but as I discovered how the brain worked and all my research, and knowing that 95% of what we do is the programming up to the age of 7 that we base things on, and the conscious mind isn't of much use in changing that, I realized that that's where the vibrations go, especially with the intention, and we can just experience what it is that we want. We can move from the pain to the peace with the vibrations in between. So what that means, I help people using different tools. Like this is one of my favorite ones because you're an instrument. You have your heartbeat, your breath, your footsteps, your rhythmic being. And inside, when you feel yourself as an instrument and you really tap inside, you can feel and connect to the vibrations that are inside of you. And of course, there's vibrations everywhere. In fact, Einstein said that everything in life is about vibrations. So our thoughts are vibrations with messages, and they're magnetic, and they even change the chemicals in our blood. So the vibrations connecting with our thoughts and feelings at that level is really a pretty powerful way to see change show up in our lives.
So you mentioned you're a subliminal programming expert. So this is the method you're using, right? Is the tones, the vibrations?
Yes, I use different exercises. For instance, like a shaker, a simple thing like a shaker kind of helps break up stuck energy because the issues are in our tissues. And we can have different tools because just the sound helps us have that image of releasing things that are stuck. And I find that drums are a great way to just connect with that feeling on that subconscious level and just express it and release it. And one of the tips I'd like to share is how important our breath is, because really our breath gives us life. And if you sit comfortably and you close your eyes, if you want to do it with me right now,
Okay.
that would be great. So you close your eyes,
All
and you
right.
take a deep breath in through your nose, and you hold it to the count of 4, 2, 3, 4, and you release it through your mouth, and you hold it to the count of 4, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to do it again. And feel your shoulders relax and your stomach expand. Hold it, 2, 3, 4, and release it. And we're going to do it again. And please feel the air vibrating your nose when you bring the air in. And feel the air vibrating your lips as you exhale. And let's do it one more time. And breathe in faith and everything positive for your highest and best. And hold it. And breathe out any fear and anything that isn't for your best. And I suggest that you do that until your mind is clear, and do it in the morning 5 times and in the evening 5 times. And many different things can be added to that exercise as well. But we sometimes don't remember to take a deep breath. It's kind of surprising when we're anxious that we take these little shallow breaths, and the air helps in our brain and every part of our cells, and it's so calming. So it's a simple thing because we all breathe, but just taking those pause times to breathe and even listen more closely to those sounds you usually block out, and feel the vibrations and feel them hold you. I find it's a great way of meditating because as my mind is really focused on those things, it becomes quiet because it's kind of busy.
It does. It does. And I love that concept of breathing in those positive thoughts and then exhaling or releasing the negative. That's powerful.
Yes, it is. One of the things I like to work with clients about is the negative conversations in our mind. There are these loops, and they remind us of our pain and the things we can't do and the things we shouldn't try to do, because our subconscious mind, which is 95% what we do, doesn't like change. It's all about the familiar, the patterns it's known, even though it seems kind of strange that something uncomfortable feels safe, but it's kind of the way we're wired. So change is going leaping out past the comfort zone and just rewiring your brain by doing new things. It is quite exciting. And it's done. Some people, I would like to say you'd feel a big change in 1 session, because you would. In 2 sessions, you really would. But I also have to remind people that we only can do so much change at a time, because some of our patterns really do protect us in the way that we've known. So the goal isn't like a one time, once over, your whole life has changed, you're a new person now. It's about respecting who we are, what our journey has been, and then making those steps forward one at a time with the right tools to make the change. Because it isn't about our conscious mind and our willpower, because we all know those times we set these goals, they're amazing, we know we're going to do it, we know better right now, we're doing it differently, we're really, really sure, like those New Year's resolutions.
Yes.
And then it's February. Wait, what happened? Why did this show up? I knew I was never going to do that.
Uh-huh.
And like, we can notice other people, like, why do they still do that? Because, the weirdest thing is we don't see our own weaknesses. It seems unfair. The only way we see our own weaknesses and our own blocks is by what shows up in our life and what other people tell us. And a lot of times you get defensive. I don't want to hear about that. Like, forget about it, because we're sensitive about it. That's where we're hiding.
Yes.
So change is an exciting thing, but it's great to have the support of a group of people, of kind of a pathway to finding a new place.
Yes. Now, as you're talking, it's reminding me of, sometimes when you try to make a radical change in your diet, your lifestyle, your habits, it's short-lived. It's just not sustainable. But gradual steps just seem to have more of a long-term effect, where you've just shifted your course a few degrees, but years, in any, if you think of geometry, you just change the angle a few degrees and you end up in a totally different place.
Yeah, it's so exciting, because it's like you see your goal. Like for me, I like to set a goal and write it down, and to see it and to feel it and to do it. And also, since I talk about subliminal programming, it is that the change can be an aha moment, a miracle, or quantum physics call it super learning, because things can all of a sudden, wow, I get it. You feel it. But it's also the support of rewiring your brain. It's like a river's used to going down that way, because the brain has the ability to change, the neuroplasticity. But you put up a dam and you say, no, you're going to go down this path now. And it's kind of doesn't know where to go, and it has to keep going. And it's by doing the physical redoing that makes new synapses in the brain. So it's rewiring the brain, like a stroke victim learning how to talk or walk again.
Yes.
And they can, but they're using a new connections. And that's what we're doing when we cement and choose to make a new habit. It's kind of similar, but a little different than just that New Year's resolution, because it's having the vision of sensing the vision, having it input in a deeper level, and being more realistic about the steps and noticing the steps. It's not just a vague concept that you read about in a book, or you wish you look like that person. It's something very personal, very real, and a deeper level of commitment.
And to me, the key is you are changing those neural pathways. You're actually making changes in your brain. And, there's neuroscience is a hot topic now. A lot of people are very fascinated with what we're learning there. Whereas we used to believe, once you were 40, you were done learning. Now we know that is far from true.
Yes. Isn't that exciting? I'm glad to know that.
So am I.
Yeah, it's I love change. I mean, I say that, of course, sometimes it's painful, but it's just to know that you aren't stuck, and to know that some of the pain had a reason. I mean, not a reason because, oh, how great you could suffer, but I mean that it takes you to new heights, because those lessons, like, that's why I do what I do, because I don't want other people to suffer and have to go through how I learned it. I want to tell you, of course, you're going to learn yourself too, but I'd like your path to be a little shorter than mine was, a little less painful, and not cost us even as much money.
Yeah.
So that's what I really love about it. And I'm thinking right now about the families and parenting, because I had some major challenges in my parenting, and I'm not at liberty to go into the details about them, but I can assure you if you have a struggle, it's just a chance I had that one too.
Uh-huh.
And for me, I had to kind of pass over that part of me that thought I was doing the right thing because I was a good mom, I was a dedicated mom, I had more love than was possible and was even needed because I love so much. And then I had to learn that I had to step back because actually I was interfering with my child's experience of their own choices and their own struggles so that they could stand up and they could learn that, yes, I am strong. Yes, I can do it. So if I was doing for them, and it was kind of a fine line because maybe it's safety in a certain extent. And it's hard to watch them fall and stumble and the different things. But as you give them that chance, in the beginning, it's the hardest if you have been kind of like a real helper there. And as they grow and your role changes, but then the magic and the miracles are just incredible. And in some cases, it's the only way, like the whole story about the caterpillar becoming the butterfly and cocoon, it's absolutely the only way they're ever going to fly. So it's kind of painful to step back in a way, especially when they have a big role in your life. That caretaking is kind of define who you are. It's kind of hard to take back and say, wait a minute, I matter? Wait a minute, I matter because I was taking care of my family. Oh, I'm actually going to help them more if I take care of myself. So for me, it was a big change.
Yes, I can believe that. Now, I know that you also talked about, you have also made recordings on your viola. And,
Oh,
and you are an accomplished musician. I know you have
yes.
earned
As
awards
you see
with
in my
that.
bio, I kind of did it all on my own because it wasn't what my parents wanted me to do. So it's been kind of like a lot of challenges, but a lot of victories. Yes, I play the viola. I love the viola. And, I'm in the New York Pops and I played with all the stars and all this kind of stuff. But what was kind of amazing, I went to this group about improvisation and they were like, you can make a CD. And I was so shy and I had stage fright. And I mean, I could hardly hear myself talk. I was just would sit in the back of the room. And all of a sudden, this one particular person was like, no, we're going in the studio. And I started creating these CDs. I started having the music just flooding through me when I'd quiet my mind, and some people would call it channeling, and I'd improvise. And so I have 8 CDs, and I won this big international award that was, oh my gosh, when I received that, it was so huge. It was big. And then when I got in the top 10 of 4 Billboard charts, I was like, oh, that was a moment I'll never forget. That was a year ago. And that's a CD that goes along with my book and my methods so people can experience the different steps, which are trust. It's strings is the acronym. But yes, I love to record. It's my most exciting place to be. Every part of it, the composing, the recording of it, the editing, the post-editing. The one part I will admit to you that I don't love as much is the promoting of it.
Uh-huh.
I've been in Grammy groups and I've done a certain amount of promotion, but I was kind of like, well, maybe that's not the best way for me to spend my money. I really want to help people. So I kind of got off in creating this method a little bit more. And now I'm doing speaking engagements because I want to share to bigger groups of people where I'll incorporate my music into my method and into my programs and my playing my viola because I channel energy that's kind of guided for people's highest and best through their guides. And it's just, I just feel so blessed and so grateful that I can just have these challenges and I keep taking them on. So here I am.
You do. You
I
have really moved out of your comfort zone.
Really moved out of my comfort zone.
Oh, okay, but the music, some musicians are just making music, to sell, to perform, but you're doing far more than that. Don't you also use the tones from your violin?
Yes.
Okay.
There was a time back before I had a period where I had to focus, especially on my family, where I was doing concerts and people were really feeling a change. That was my that's my model, that I connect up to a higher source of energy, and ahead of time those are my intentions and prayers, and that the vibrations go to where each person needs it. And it's also with my CDs. So I've actually had people have major life changes just listening to my CD. My favorite story is a very, very gifted man who was deeply depressed for 4 years. He couldn't work, he couldn't leave his home. His family relations were really severed. And he called me up crying hysterically that listening to my CD completely changed his life. He could work, his relationships mended, he was traveling everywhere, he was so happy. And I was like, wow. I mean, if you can only imagine how that makes me feel always.
Well, yes, that helps you recognize the gifts that you have to share with the world.
Yes, I really, I'm so excited. And I could maybe say that if I was able to dream a little bit right now, it would be that my viola and the healing gifts become more known, so that, if I put out a concert and I'm playing the viola and I say, you could come and have it changed, it would be easier, because right now it's kind of a hard way to market it. So I'm pretty excited about the way I have it now, that I have a system to help use music and the vibrations, because we're all musicians. And I don't want people to come in thinking that I'm going to come and I'm going to teach you the viola, I'm going to teach you how to become an advanced drummer, or, that would turn people off, because that's not really what they want to come for. But I think music is in the air. It's just everywhere. It's just in all of our souls and all of our hearts. And so, yeah, if you can tell, I'm very excited.
Yes. Okay. Now talk about the services you offer in addition to your book and your recording. How are you reaching out to use your gifts to help people?
Oh, thank you. So I've developed this premier subliminal reprogramming system, and I have a digital download about the 7 steps to unblock and eliminate negativity and negative energy that interferes. And I have an 8-step workshop modules online. And then I also do private coaching with Zoom. And in the session, I connect in. I like to have some discussion, so I get a sense of people's background and what's coming up for them. And it usually connects to some childhood experiences or feelings. And I see them because of a gift that I have as root beliefs. And then I play my music that kind of addresses and helps remove some blocks, and it replaces it with the positive energy through the music I play. So I play it through in the session. Then afterwards, I like to send a link to a place you could stream to listen to the music that I created that can help you rewire your mind to help become calmer, whatever your goal is.
Mm-hmm. And that sounds wonderful. Do you have any special offers today?
Oh, I do. I have a special offer. I've created this meditation video to quiet your mind. And if you text sound to 26786, you will receive that video. And I'd love to share that.
All right. So text sound to, what's the number again?
26786.
26786. So if they text sound to 26786, then they'll get that meditation video.
Yes. And on my website, I do have a few other programs, and I'm also updating my website as we speak. And it's KarenOlson.com, and it's 2 O's. I'm not an Olson triplet, so it's KarenOlson.com.
Okay.
I'd love to hear from your listeners. I really, really feel your heart, and I really admire all that you give to yourself and your families and your communities, and just want you to have many blessings in your lives and joys, and and gifts.
Well, Karen, you're doing some really amazing things with music, things I had not even realized were possible. I loved all the research you've put into understanding vibration, how the mind works, and that's going to help a lot of people.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I'll have your full bio on my website so people can read more about you there, but also go to your website, KarenOlson.com, right?
Yes.
Okay. Olson with 2 O's.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Karen, thank you so much for your time and what you've shared with us today. And I hope you have an absolutely fabulous day.
Oh, you too. Thank you so much. Many blessings and high vibrations.